It's fine because that's how the pop industry or modern
Yeah.
world shows you.
Yes, right.
Yoga, the word yoga, actually comes from the root word yuk or
Yuk.
yoke.
Okay.
It just means union.
Oh, okay.
Union of yourself with the divine.
With the divine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The practice that I have, I can speak about that.
Uh-huh.
Right. There's so many other practices as well, right? Like for example, there is Kundalini yoga.
Kundalini. That's one big question that I have as well. Okay.
Okay.
I'll save it for the later part.
And then there is Ashtanga yoga.
Ashtanga yoga,
Okay.
Kundalini Ashtanga.
Yeah, and from the later parts, right, you'll start seeing Paramhamsa Yogananda ji, right? He has something called Kriya yoga.
Kriya yoga.
Okay, and then afterwards came in Nada yoga.
Nada yoga.
Yeah,
Can you give one sentence for each, like what it actually means? Do you know anything about it? Like basics. Like I know Kriya is it.
of it, the goal of everything is still the same.
Okay.
Okay, it's just that think about it this way. I think this would be a pretty good example for it, right? Why do you eat? To gain energy, right?
Yeah.
But again, different recipes or different kinds of food, the purpose is still the same. You just have different flavors.
Yes. Yes.
I
I
think
know
this
what
is
you're
something
saying.
like
It's like I mean I was listening to a podcast. He says there's something called basic motive and superior motive. Like when you have sex, the basic motive is to have like to have fun, like to, and the ulterior motive is to reproduce. So basically, the ulterior motive stays the same. The basic motives like evolve based on what your body prefers or what you prefer.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And also when you think about it, right? So the legend of yoga goes so much more deeper and deeper into our understanding, right? This is from Sadhguru and yeah, the Isha Foundation, right? So they have something called Isha Kriya Yoga.
Isha Kriya Yoga, heard of it? Yes.
But at the end of the day, most of the things, right, that all the lineages say are still the same. They just have like a slight different variation in the postural practice or in the breath work or something of that sort. But then everyone is telling the same thing. Now, if you go to John Doe's yoga class for like a bigger booty, pardon me on that one, I can help you there.
So what about this Bikram yoga? What is that?
Did you see the documentary
I
on
did.
Netflix?
I did.
Yeah, I think that explains it, right? Do I need to go more and further deeper into that? Let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I think the bigger question to ask is, why do all these yoga gurus become like that?
Yes.
I think that's a bigger question to
Yeah.
ask, right? Let's not focus more on Bikram or on one particular
Yeah.
certain person, right? I think it's a two-sided problem. It's like the first thing is these people gain certain insight. It's like, they gain certain powers. And the word power is also actually mentioned in yoga and in a beautiful way, right? It's called Siddhi.
Okay.
Okay. In one of the uh, writings of Shiva's literature, right, it is mentioned that, when you're doing these practices, you start getting certain powers.
Oh.
Okay. You can start seeing and you can start foresee things and things like that, and you start attracting people and you have like this natural charisma and all of these things, right? And then what happens is since you've gained this power, you start becoming power hungry.
When you say power hungry, more power. Okay. Okay.
But then in that mode of being power hungry, you forget your ultimate goal.
Okay. Why you started in?
Now that is one side of the problem, right? That is the teacher side of the problem. Okay. Now the student side of the problem is they come in with so many traumas or so many troubles or so many desires. I'm not having a flexible body, so please help me. Get like a better body or something like that, and then they stick to the practice for like let's say 6 months or 1 year, then they do it so well, and then the teacher is guiding them so well. Now they start elevating the teacher to the level of God. So it's a two-sided problem. I think the word that I want to use here is called vichikshana. It's called discrimination in the
Okay.
It's called vichikshana gyan, right? It's great. And when I say discrimination, right, it's not discrimination against people, like trying to discern your own thoughts. It's like, okay, is this going to help me or is this going to hurt me in the grand scheme of things? I think that's the one that we want to have. And one of that actually is it's also laid out in the Ashtanga yogas, the one that we follow. It's got Ashtanga called 8 limbs, right?
8 limbs. Yes.
It's got nothing to do with the physical limbs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's called the yamas,
Mhm.
niyamas, uh, and then the pranayama,
Mhm.
asana, pratyahara, dhyana, dharana, samadhi. Right? The ultimate goal of any yoga is samadhi.
Samadhi.
That's it.
So we spoke about every kinds of yoga. And what does BKS Iyengar
So
practice?
BK's Iyengar yoga, and so okay, a little bit of a recap on this
Mhm.
one. BK's Iyengar and Sri Patapi Joyce, who is the father of our lineage, right?
Mhm.
They both had the same teacher.
They both went to
Yeah,
same guru.
yeah.
Okay.
I think his name is Krishnamurti. I think that's his name.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he had another teacher who's Baba Ram Mohan Das,
Mhm.
right? Baba Brahmachari is what we call.
Mhm.
He's from the Himalayas again, I think. So he actually gave the knowledge to Krishnamacharya.
Mhm.
That's what we call it. So Krishnamacharya had multiple disciples. One of them is Patabi Joyce, one of them is BK Iyengar,
Yeah.
right? Patabi Joyce, and in the grand scheme of things, the difference between Iyengar yoga and Mysore style Ashtanga
Mhm.
yoga, right, is that in Mysore style, back in the day, we were not allowed to use any props. When I say props, like yoga blocks or something
Okay.
of
Okay.
that sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iyengar yoga is about you can use props and you can use blocks, and then but most of the sequence is still
Same.
somewhere similar. Yeah, yeah.
Got it. You touched. Okay, before asking that question, I'll tell you, I practiced yoga as well in India. I studied.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I did yoga. I've competed in few of the yoga competitions and stuff. I was flexible back then, and then when I came to US, I didn't practice. I After school, I stopped practicing yoga. Went sports, and Ritik Roshan happened to you. For me, India. I mean, from Karnataka, Upendra happened to me.
Yeah.
Upendra happened to me. So yeah, college life, living it, and no yoga, nothing. Started working out, then came to US, figured my body's not flexible at all, started getting injured. And then I was like, let me practice yoga. And I started going to yoga class. And there was a night and day difference between what used to happen in India in my school and here in US, right? I'm gonna refer it to as more of Eastern, like Eastern and Western.
Mhm.
So in Eastern, we don't have music, and like you said, we do the poses, hold the poses for a longer time.
Mhm.
It's and like you can feel the stretch.
Mhm.
And then when I came here, there's a hip hop music or some music being played,
Mhm.
and there's a flow, like you move quick, and I felt like I couldn't get what I wanted from yoga. So my question to you is one of them right and one of them wrong, or if it's different, how is it different?
Um,
Or was I seeing something different?
I think that's a first of all that's a beautiful question.
Mhm.
Thank you for observing that because a lot of people don't even observe that difference, right? Rather than me giving my own answer, right?
Mhm.
I'll give the answer given in the scripture itself,
Okay.
the Patanjali Yoga Sutras,
Mhm.
the very first Yoga Sutra, right? It says Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Okay,
Means
what that translates to is yoga is something that should stop the fluctuations in mind.
okay.
Okay. So, chitta vritti nirodha. Nirodha is stop or
Stop.
terminate, right? Now, if a person is going to a yoga class and if hip hop music and things like that is what is helping the person to stop the fluctuations in their mind,
So be it.
so be it. And if someone needs to not have any distractions and they need to practice just by themselves with no other living species around them at all, and they need to engage, so be it. Yeah. That's not for me or for someone else to decide, right? However, I would also, well, let's take a step back. Okay. You watch American football?
I do.
Who do you think is the greatest quarterback?
Tom Brady.
What do you think happens in his mind when he steps onto the field?
Oh, he's just laser focused on his goal. He doesn't care who's out there, who's cheering for him, nothing. His goal is to just get the ball and move it forward as much as possible. That's
Correct. Okay. In my mind, when Tom Brady gets onto the field, he's doing it,
correct. Yes.
right?
Right. Right.
There's so many other people. There's like cheerleaders
Oh
on the other
yeah.
side,
So much distraction. So much
and
distraction.
everything, right? He doesn't care. So when you go into a studio, even if there's music and everything, if you are able to get into that zone, right? You
Okay. That's a nice way to put it. Yeah. For me, like I don't know if I came with biases or something, because in when I practiced yoga in India, when I used to practice with gurus, they used to literally do the pose and show it to you. Here it's just like very, what do you call, vocal. They just say, okay, take your right hand, move it back, and move your left leg back. So for me it was very difficult. So yeah, I felt there was a huge what do you call, difference in how they practice yoga here versus there.
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks for answering that question. Yes.
also is again, I'm the person who tries to logically dissect things as
Mhm.
far as I can, and when the logic ends, at that point I'm like, okay, let's
Mhm.
now get the zone of spirituality.
Got it.
But I also think spirituality without using logic is pure idiosyncrasy. Right? That's where you start getting into cultish worship as well.
Right, absolutely.
When you think about it, India is like this huge country. We have like this amazing population and everything, right? And there's like so much distraction and everything, right? So for them, they need to be more like, you don't need any more music.
Mm.
There's already like noise and everything outside, right?
Mhm.
But when you come to the US, it's like a huge continent. And
Mhm.
then forget New York and,
Mhm.
major
Yeah.
cities like this. But otherwise, people are looking for a reason to socialize with another being.
Yes,
In
that's
India, you
correct.
don't need that
That's
reason.
correct.
So I think maybe somewhere in the DNA, that's how it started happening as well.
Probably. Yeah, that's a good way to put it across. And again, to the viewers, it's not that I hate yoga. I hate doing yoga here. I still do yoga here. I still go to yoga studios. I don't want the yoga studios to think that I'm talking bad about it or something. But
So again,
yeah, it was just my first reaction when I came in and I took my first yoga class. It was like I was practicing completely different, like something else, and I came in expecting something else, and it was completely new to me.
right,
Yeah.
right. I do have to mention something, right? First of all, thank you for all the non-Indians for
Mm-hmm.
taking an interest in yoga and then opening their studios. We are so grateful to you. However, do not culturally appropriate something like this, because for you it is just postural practice, but for us it's a sacred religion.
Mm-hmm.
So try to know a little bit, do some homework before trying to introduce your own new lingo and linguistics into these things, and then say, let's have a wine yoga class.
Yeah.
That now is stretching
Yeah,
it a
see,
bit.
that's
So
where even I feel like when you do beer yoga, like I'm like, that's
correct.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I completely understand what you're saying,
yeah.
because that's as a matter of fact, I was having this conversation with my teacher, who's in India right now.
Uh-huh.
She is in Mysore, right?
I saw.
She is with Shri Sharatji, who's our
Mm-hmm.
current leader.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had this conversation.